Hi, I'm Al Ziegler and I own Ziegler's BBQ, as well as the founder and developer of the BBQ Pit Sitter. The BBQ Pit Sitter, tonight we're going to do a demonstration of that. It basically is just like a babysitter. It monitors the pit temperature by having a thermometer in the pit that will then tie to the phone line, and if the pit temperature drops below what your desired set point is, it'll automatically call. I have it call up to 3 numbers: myself, my wife, and my manager. But tonight, first, before we get into that, what I want to do is kind of show you what the Pit Sitter looks like in the box and what you would get with it and how you kind of program that. This is the box that it comes with. You have an owner's manual, the Pit Sitter, a 6-foot cable that has the thermometer on it, and a power supply. The Pit Sitter is easy on and off switch. When you turn the power on, the alarm button will go out, the power button is on. The back provides simple programming, as well as you can see in the front a programming jack that you use for the phone. What I'm going to do real quick basically is what you need for this to operate is a phone line, just an analog phone line, so there's no monitoring fees or anything like that. What I've done is I have put the a splitter onto my fax line and then ran the fax line back to the back of the building with the Pit Sitter, and they just run together. So it uses an existing fax line, so I didn't have to buy any more phone lines for that. And just a simple power supply. Okay? In order to program this, it's very simple to program. You basically, all you need is an old phone, or you can do this remotely with a cell phone, but it's a lot easier to do with just an old analog phone. You just plug it right into the front, and when you pick up the phone, as long as this is plugged in, powered on, you pick up the phone and it'll walk you right through your instructions. It'll ask you about how many phone rings you want it to ring before it starts dialing. It'll ask you if the power goes out, how long you want the power to be out before it starts calling numbers to let people know that the power is out. It'll ask you what temperature you want the alarm to start calling at. It'll allow you to program your phone numbers into it. All very simple, and it's just a step-by-step touch tone activated, and the machine will tell you what to do as you go through it. You should be able to have this up and running, programmed in less than 10 minutes. Okay? With that, what I want to do is I'm going to set this to the side, and I'm going to show you how the Pit Sitter works. Right now, you can see that we're operating at about 250 degrees. If I pull this probe out of the pit door, the temperature is going to drop significantly, and when it gets down, I have mine set at 190 degrees. When this gets down to 190 degrees, the Pit Sitter is automatically going to call me. I've programmed in to my cell phone the Pit Sitter phone number. I use this phone number at night after the store is closed if I'm not in here, to determine whether or not, what temperature the pit is running. So you can call on that and find out what pit your temperature is running at any time of the night, day, as long as the Pit Sitter is turned on. We have it as part of our operational guidelines and checklist at night to plug in the Pit Sitter and to turn the unit on. So with that, what I'm going to do now, just to kind of show you how this works, is I'm going to take this probe out of the pit. I'm going to use the smoke evac because I've got a little bit of smoke built up in there. And it will take just a few minutes. But I'm pulling this probe out, and I'm just holding it out here in the air. So fairly quickly, this unit is going to drop below 190 degrees, and it's going to call me, and we will also see the alarm light come on. When this goes below 190, that alarm light will flash on, and then the cell phone should ring, and I'll show you that it's going to be the Pit Sitter. And it just takes a little bit of time for this. This is not a very fast reacting thermometer because it's a barbecue pit, so you want slow increments in there. And we should be getting close to our temperature. Now you can see that the alarm light has went on, so it's dropped below 190, and shortly we should be getting a phone call from our Pit Sitter. When I answer this phone, it tells me that there is an alarm condition at my location. What all I have to do then is I have to just program in, just punch in the code that for the unit and hit pound, and that will disable the system, and then I can come in to the store if there is an issue and fix the situation. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the probe right back in this unit so we can get this back up running. But that just shows you how the test works and how the unit will call you. I just simply lay it right in here. And we've tied a knot in ours just so we know where to drop it in. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn the unit off. I'll let it come back up to temperature, and then I'll turn the unit back on. It'll take about five minutes or so for this thermometer to come back up above my set point. So that gives you a real basic idea of how the pit sitter works. The reason we developed it, honestly, this pit, I've had it for years. One day, it quit working at night. I didn't know it. I came in, I made a $1,200 trip to the dumpster with food that I had to throw away because the temperature was unknown. And we then wrestled with it for several months of trying to figure out what the problem was, and eventually we got that corrected. But in the meantime, I had no way to monitor the pit, and that's how we developed this system. If you have any more questions, you'd be happy. Just feel free to email us. You can contact us on our website, or you can email me at al@thebbqpitsitter.com. Just so you know, this pit sitter is really developed for commercial barbecue operators. There are some folks who use it in competition with some Bluetooth device for cell phones, but primarily this is set up for a barbecue operation where you're cooking at night, unattended, and you want to be able to contact your pit. You can do it by the pit sitter to find out what the pit temperature is running, or if you're wanting it to let you know if the pit sitter is below a temperature that you've set for it, like we do, is 190. Or the other thing is if the power goes out, which is critical in our situation where power does go out periodically here. It'll call you if the power, mine it will call me if the power is out for 5 minutes or more. Again, it's just like the barbecue pit sitter is just like a babysitter. It gives you peace of mind. It allows you, when you had little kids, you could call the babysitter to see how things were going. If there was a crisis, the babysitter would call you. And that's kind of what we've developed here. And I'll tell you what, I sleep a lot easier at night, and I think you will too.